Do you know sometimes you just get an instant bad feeling about someone. You go off them straight away, and the more they talk, sometimes the more you get to know someone, you think, "Oh, I was wrong about that. First impressions. I shouldn't have judged him on the first impressions or her." But other times you think, "Oh, mate, I was right." This is definitely one of them times, yeah. Skeezer was creepy, right? And again, it's a cellmate, right? It's a cellmate in Pentonville. And I hate cellmates. I've said it in a million videos, and I'll probably say it in a million others. I hate cellmates. I've never liked cellmates. Never. And it took me years and years and years to work out to get a bloody single cell, yeah? Moron. Especially, I hate when they get put in your cell at night. Because it is your cell. If you're in there first, it's your cell, isn't it? If you're in the cell first, it's your cell. So, you know, one cellmate goes to court, doesn't come back, or gets shipped out. I'm thinking, sweet, I hope I don't get another cellmate straight away. It gets to night, it's usually night time, innit? They come in from court in a remand prison like Pentonville. So they'll come in from court. Evening time onwards, I'm on tender, it's thinking, please don't crack that door and put some fucking idiot in with me, please. Sometimes you can swerve it, sometimes, you know what I mean, one night turns into 2 nights, turns into 3 nights, and you're starting to think, oh mate, hopefully they forgot. Then your store gets bust open at like 11 o'clock at night. Oh. This is one of them times when it gets, I probably had a single cell for a couple of days, managed to, you know, the screw comes, and you just blag it. You just manage to blag it somehow, or they just leave you. They don't try and put no one in. Sometimes you can blag it. I've already got a cell, mate. Got this, look, his stuff's still here, blah, blah, blah. Got mannequin in the bed made up. Look, see, look, he's asleep. Cellmates. All that chit chat. Hello, mate. You're basically getting to know someone in a toilet, ain't you? That's basically what it is. Like cottaging. Like cottaging, mate. You're getting to know someone in a bloody toilet, ain't you? When you think about it, the toilet's there, door's shut, you're in a room in the toilet. Just because there's a bed in that room, it don't mean it's a bedroom. It's a toilet. Any room that's got a toilet in is a toilet, first and foremost, isn't it? And basically washing your shit up, washing your plates and bowls up in the same sink that you wash your hands in after you've had a number 2. Hello mate, how are you? This geezer come in, right? Asian fella. This wasn't why he creeped me out. And hello mate, blah blah blah, come in. Top bunk's yours. In England, in the UK, the bottom bunk is the bunk to have, so you ain't got to jump up and down. It's basically it. It's a dominant thing, isn't it? Bottom bunk's mine. And if you're in the cell first, and the person come in and you was laying on the top bunk, they think, oh, what's going on here? Does he want me to bully him? He's come in. Yeah, you're on that, mate. You're on that bed, mate. Move some of my stuff out of the way. Yeah, that set of drawers is yours, that cupboard. He's made his bed. I don't know what time it is now. 10, 11. By the time he's like settled down, I've offered him a coffee because, you know, he's just been remanded. He's just come in. He's got nothing, you know what I mean? A couple of little coffee sachets and a load of tea bags. I'm making him a nice coffee. Blah blah blah. We're just chatting away. What am I in for? I was probably in for burglary at the time. I was always in for burglary. What are you in for? And he started telling me that he had codees. They'd managed to get hold of fake policeman's outfits, and they was robbing brass houses. Proper name for a brass house, a place where prostitutes work. God, my mind's gone dead. Like a brass house, yeah. A place where prostitutes work. And Escort agent. It's not even. It's not an escort agent, is it? Do you know, like the places like above, like the shops in the town centre. You know what I mean? The massage parlours, those sort of places. Yeah. Happy endings. They're robbing them sort of places. Thinking fair enough, no comebacks and all that. I've never ever fully trusted. Listen, there's nothing wrong with. I say there's nothing wrong with that crime. It doesn't automatically make you a pervert or something if you're involved in that sort of crime. Yeah, obviously it don't. I'm sure a lot of people have done that and they can get away with it because, well, who are these prostitutes going to ring up? But it always seems to be saying to me, and this geezer proved, and I've got other examples of, but it's a bit pervy in my thing. Like you're tying up women, you're doing this. It's sort of like, how does that come into a conversation between mates? You know, yeah, let's start robbing prostitute brass houses and tie the women up and all that. Yeah, only takes one of you to be a wrong un, doesn't it? And dip your toe in, so to speak. Literally, like, you know what I mean? And then you're all getting nicked for some naughtiness because of you took some idiot with you. You didn't know as well as you thought or something. You know, it's the sort of the thought of that, and you're going to get a longer time for that as well. You got to remember, that all comes into it. The victims that you've chosen come into it. You know, if you're a burglar and you're deliberately targeting OAPs, then you're gonna get looked down on by other burglars for a start. But I'm talking about in Old Bill's thing, right? You know what I mean? They're gonna come down harder on you because you're targeting vulnerable people. So he's creeping me, like, I'm just thinking, and then he's telling me this, and I'm thinking, God, mate, you look like a creep. You look like the sort of geezer that would hide in a bush, in all seriousness, yeah, and jump out on someone. I mean, right. So I put up. Well, I had no choice. You know what I mean? He wasn't like we was fighting that night. You know what I mean? He didn't really do nothing wrong. He was just telling me. But I was just sitting there thinking, this geezer's creeping me out, man. You know, and the next day literally the next morning we come out, I just told the screw, I said, listen, I left, so I went, God, fuck this, mate. It's only a shitty little fucking cell on G-Wing in Pentonville, yeah. It wasn't like I was leaving anything good. I was like, Gov, I can't be with this geezer, man. He's creeping me out, Gov. Like, what, have you had an argument? I was like, nah. I feel like I've got to sleep with one eye open around him, you know what I mean? It is what it is. The screws don't want you fighting with your cellmates, do you? You know, alright, yeah, sweet. I just told the geezer I was going in with a mate. I think that's what I did. I think I ended up going in with someone I know. I can't really remember. But just to prove my point, sort of thing. There was a geezer in another sentence in jail for the same thing. In jail for the same thing, robbing prostitutes, yeah, robbing brass houses. One of his previous crimes, which come out, like, not at the time, but this geezer was like in his 40s and he weren't an idiot, he really wasn't. But one of his previous crimes back in the day, way back in the day, was like a gang grape. I hope I haven't already said that word on here. Jesus Christ, that word is so mental on YouTube. I hope I haven't accidentally said it on this video already. But like, yeah, a gang grape. So like, it sort of proves my point, didn't it? He was involved in that back in the day, and then another one of his faults is, yeah, let's go and tie up prostitutes. Yeah, I'm not saying everyone has ever tied up a prostitute, or, you know what I mean? I'm really not, but it's one of those crimes that it's like a grey area for me. And then there was a recent thing, actually. I've spoke about it when I did the video about the Pentonville special that I did. A geezer was convicted of raping his cellmate, basically, yeah. It's quite a recent case, the last couple of years. Said he was testing him to see if he was a snitch, but he was on remand. The geezer that did it to his cellmate was on remand for robbing prostitutes. Yeah. exact same thing, tying them up. I mean, that's a weird old thing, isn't it, to say, right, to get a group of you, and one of you might think it, and then one of you might never say it. You know what I mean? But to get a group of you, I'll go, right, yeah. I'll tell you what. I know a load of brassies that work above that cafe. Will go up there when they're at their most vulnerable. Hopefully, when they're wearing like knickers and bras or whatever, and tie them up, proper rough them up, tie them up. It's like, you know what I mean? And then everyone agreeing with it as well. It's a weird mentality. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've run up in places and there's been birds there and all that, and I've demanded money off of when I've been involved in armed robberies and fully demanding money from women behind the counters and all that. But I'm not trying to downplay any of the scumminess I've ever been involved in my life. You know, I'm fully aware of it. But it's a weird old crime to discuss and bring up with your mates. It's a weird one. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, hit subscribe and we'll chat later. Adios.